with Tracy in LA. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have the great Barni Rothman, also known as Redhead Dancing Machine.
Yep.
I said redheaded dancing machine. It's not.
No, it's not that.
Redhead Dancing Machine is her Instagram. Why is that your Instagram?
Well, besides the Redhead Dancing Machine is the name of one of my favorite dance songs by the Jackson 5.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how does it go?
Dancing, 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 boom, boom, boom. This is Dance Machine.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. Yeah, that's where he does a little bit of like robot.
Oh.
He's famous for that.
I need to watch this. I don't know why I'm not picturing this. Okay.
But it's a wonderful song with all sorts of riffs and changes in it and all that. It's a very fun song to dance to.
Oh, nice. Okay. So Barni and I actually met a while back.
I think it's been 3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
It has been 3 years. Yes.
We met in Johnny Hobbs' tap class.
Right.
Probably
Dance
3 years
Center.
ago. Hollywood Dance Center.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what happened. We just took class. We were just walking to our cars.
Leaving at the same time.
Yeah.
Started having a chat and just immediately hit it off.
Yeah. We
And
chatted
just-
for a long time.
Yeah, and you were giving me information about classes and LA Unbound and all of that, and we connected and exchanged phone numbers, and that was it. A beautiful friendship.
I
was born.
remember you were talking about how all you're doing is like taking dance classes, and I was still working my 9-to-5 job,
Right, I
and I
remember
was
that.
like, oh, you're living my dream. I remember being like, talking to people about you and being like,
Aw.
she's just like pursuing dance, and because you're retired, right?
Right.
And I'm like, and she's just pursuing dance, and I was just talking about your life to, I think, my mom or someone, and I was like, she's living my dream. That's what I want to do. And then I basically retired myself and did that for a year till I ran out of money, and now I have a day job again.
Oh boy. Yeah, well,
Unfortunately.
you got to do. It's a hard line to walk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the thing that I'll just say this, that I really have a huge amount of respect for people who try to have a full-time professional dance career for so many reasons. It's not easy. It's physically demanding. People who aren't dancers don't know how hard dancers have to work to get as good as they are.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot
So
of money.
hard.
You know, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication. And frankly, I feel like dancers need, and I don't mean just like the Baryshnikovs and the big names in the dance world, but people need to, dancers, I think, need to be known a little bit more outside of the dance world. Like all the famous dancers, like they all know each other.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Instagram. They all know each other. But outside of that world, we all know actors, but
That's
we don't
true.
know dancers.
That's a good point.
And dancers are really important.
Yeah.
They're really important as performers.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So that's how Barni and I met, and then since then we've taken class here and there, but mostly we just text and talk on Instagram, which Barni reminded me that I was not. She's like, you weren't even on Instagram, and all of a sudden you're all over Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not on social media. You'll have to text me. Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. That's Tracy on Instagram. And she's posting every day. Now she's got the podcast. She's posting that every day too.
So now we have all kinds of ways to communicate.
Correct.
And then I was so excited because I know that Barni's into Bollywood, and I think I might have taken a Bollywood class like 6 years ago or something. I don't remember the last time I took a Bollywood class. I feel like I've taken it once before, unless I'm forgetting. But I was so excited to try Bollywood
so
with you
glad
tonight.
you came.
His name is Yogen
Bhagat.
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 Okay, yeah.
Is his last name.
He is a really good dancer, and
He was a choreographer in Mumbai with people like Amir Khan and Hrithik Roshan and really big names before he moved out here. So it's a wonderful opportunity to take these dance classes with him.
Barni was introducing him to me and making sure I knew how big he was. I'm like, he's such a good teacher. She's like, you don't even know.
Yeah.
But we're at Athletic Garage.
A whole different life in India before he came out here. Yeah.
But it was so fun, really bouncy, which like dance teachers are always telling me that I'm too bouncy, so I might as well just do a style that is bouncy. Why not?
Well, so the thing is that there's Bollywood, which we all know about, and then there's Bhangra. And Bhangra, which is what we did today, when teachers teach Bollywood, there's different styles.
Okay.
So like you've got your mainstream Bollywood, then you've got some teachers, there's one at C Spot, Selena, who likes to teach.
Yeah, hers looks good too.
Hers is more, she brings in like classical movements.
Okay.
A lot of hand, it's very precise.
I've noticed that from the videos.
And difficult, frankly, if you don't have the training for any of those classical.
Yeah.
So she does that kind of style. But most teachers, my two teachers at Chinta McDaniel and Yogen, both do a combination of Bollywood. There's usually some hip hop involved in it, or sometimes there is.
Yeah.
Some but Bhangra is also part of it, and Bhangra is basically it's a separate dance form.
Okay, that's what we did tonight.
It's Punjabi folk dancing. A lot of it, it's very physical, and a lot of it is the men doing it.
Okay.
And the very deep knee bends and all of that. I mean, women can do it too, obviously, but it's
more traditional for the men to do it.
It's traditional for some of that. You'll see people doing it in a circle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like the shoulder, when you see a lot of the shoulder movements, a lot of like just very boom, hardcore stuff. I also take specifically Bhangra with oh my God.
Where's it at?
Yeah, I'm like Vicky Verk. I'm sorry, I just blanked for a minute. I apologize, Vicky, if you ever watch this. But Vicky Verk teaches up in Berkeley.
Okay.
At Ashkenaz in Berkeley, and she records these classes.
Oh, okay.
And so during the pandemic, I was taking with her. I still do.
Oh, nice.
And in fact, she has been sponsoring these very, I guess it's every other month. I think she's doing these big, like down in San Francisco. It's a block party. They blocked off at least all these different blocks down near the Embarcadero.
Oh, cool.
And had this huge Bhangra festival with performers.
Wow.
Live music, because a lot of the Bhangras, the dole, like the drums and all that. And just people, dancing or watching or whatever. I happen to be up there. So I finally got to meet her in person after about 3 years.
Wow.
So she does a very nice class that I find it's definitely great cardio, but it's also somewhat meditative.
Okay.
She's got a very nice vibe about her, and what she does is she has like 3 different segments of 5/8 counts each, and so she'll teach one segment, and then you learn that, and then she'll add on the second one, and then you run those, and then she'll teach the third run, and you run all 3 of them, and then you just do it over and over to different Bhangra songs. Okay. Occasionally she'll do a non-Bhangra song, but it gets it into your body, and then the repetition of it is kind of where the meditation part of it comes in. But it's great training. It's a great way to learn how to do it.
It probably helps you really get the moves.
Correct.
Just going over it versus just memorizing the choreo. You probably get more into it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool.
It's helped me get better at choreo just because, I don't have to memorize it because she's there, but I like to practice memorizing it for myself.
Yeah. So Barney, what did you used to do for your job before you retired?
I was an attorney.
Oh, I think you did tell me that.
I'm sure I did.
Did you do that like your whole life almost?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh no, I was one of those people who was like college, law school, job.
Wow.
The only time I broke free from that was in my mid-30s. I frankly burnt out of the hours and everything and the pressure of it, and I took some time off from May through December, and it was like, yay, I can finally do some stuff I never had time for ever. So I took, East Coast swing, salsa, karate. I took karate for 8 years.
Wow.
Starting at this time period, I started taking improv acting classes. I dabbled but did not get into Argentine tango.
But had you tried dance a little before you took that break? Or what made you like do that? Like you could have done something else. You could have just like traveled or...
Oh, I did that too.
But like what made you want to do dance? Had you like had a taste of that already?
My mother took me to ballet when I was 5. She took me to ballet classes when I was 5 years old because apparently I had very skinny legs and she wanted me to develop muscles in my legs.
Okay.
So she took me to a school, Roseanne Zimmerman.
Where did you live?
We lived in Woodland Hills, and well, I think maybe when I started, I'm not 100% sure, the studio was in Chatsworth.
Okay.
And we originally lived in Chatsworth, and then we moved to Woodland Hills. So she would drive me all the way from Woodland Hills to Chatsworth.
Wow.
It's a long drive, 3 times a week to take me to this dance school.
Wow.
And one of the dancers, the star of this particular studio, was Heather Watts.
Okay.
Who left LA to go to New York and dance at the ABT, and she danced with Baryshnikov.
Oh, wow.
So that was the level of quality of the school.
But did you stay in it for a long time, or you just did it as a little kid?
No, I know you love ballet. Is what happened is
you didn't like ballet.
I loved ballet. I took it from when I was 5 to 11, but got frustrated because, unfortunately, I've only been able to do this once in my life. It's one of my dreams is to do the splits. You know, some people just, they just go down and it's like, boom.
Yeah.
I was not one of those people. And then there's this, and then there's the leg extensions, and I couldn't do that. And so I got frustrated.
Yeah.
There was another girl, I'll never forget her, Laura, and she could do all of this stuff. So time goes by. I decide to go back to the school and take a few classes, and, who's my teacher? Laura. And so I'm standing like, maybe she won't remember me. And of course she did. And, I don't know what happened to her and if she had a career in it. But I have a little story about this, and that is that it wasn't until I was getting married and somebody comes up to me at my bridal shower and tells me that my mother had been telling some people that apparently, I do not remember this at all, but apparently the one of the teachers had approached my mother when the ABT was going to come out to LA. They were looking for local girls to be in the chorus.
Okay.
And she asked if I would be interested in something like that.
Whoa.
I do not remember this. And my mother is gone, so I do not know to this day if that never happened because I didn't think I was good enough.
Yeah.
Which is quite possible. Or my mother's just like, I don't want her to have a career in dance, so no. But it was like, what? So that's, when you're asking me like, why did you get into this? This was actually after I'd taken all that time off and the salsa and all that.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, there was just this dismay and this feeling of unfinished business.
Did you hear that story like when you were 30?
No, I heard it when I was actually in my early 40s.
Oh.
And I was like, what the heck? That's an opportunity, a missed opportunity. I mean, I do not have the personality, frankly, to have been a full-time dancer or tried that in my 20s.
Yeah. And maybe that's what was supposed to happen. Maybe you were supposed to hear that story later in life because you were supposed to dance in this season.
Right, I think so.
So from the time you were 11 till you took that first break, you didn't really dance at all, hardly?
Yeah, I danced all the time. So,
you danced all the time while you were a lawyer?
What happened is that there's different definitions of what dancing, right? And so I would play records in my parents' family room, and they had these sliding glass doors, and that would reflect, so I could watch myself doing these moves in the sliding glass door, using ballet moves to more modern music. And so then one of my high school buddies invited me to come with her one time to an underage, under 21 dance club back in the day, in the Valley.
Yeah.
Which I went to, and, that was where I first heard Suffragette City.
This is when you were a teenager?
I was a teenager. And then there was another disco that I used to go to, and this is where I found my home. It was on the dance floor. And so I would get out there and dance. And it was like, at school, I was the smart kid, kind of nerdy. I'd go out and it was like a whole different world to get to be on that dance floor.
Yeah.
So I have been going to dance clubs and dancing my entire life.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it actually being on a stage or in a dance club feels more natural to me than just about anything.
Oh yeah,
else you could imagine.
When I first saw, so I had met Barni before, but I saw her in your first LA Unbound show.
Oh, God.
I mean, I just hadn't really seen you dance ever on stage.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
And I was like, whoa, she's so good. What was the song you guys did?
We did.
I'm forgetting now. It was from a musical,
there
right?
were two. It was a combination. So first we did, Hey, Big Spender.
Okay.
And that morphed into Welcome to Burlesque.
Oh, yeah,
and she cast me. I was shocked. There was a woman in there who really had kind of looked like Cher, taller and slender and dark hair, and she was gorgeous. The cheekbones, the whole thing. And she picked me. I was like, yes, to be Cher.
Barni was the star of it, and her performance quality was so good. I remember seeing it with my friend Haley, and I was just like, we were both just like, our jaws were dropped.
Really?
Because
that's cool.
You did a great job with the dancing and the choreography, but you just had this like performance quality that was just so like magnetic.
Thank you.
Like I was just like wanting to watch you dance forever, and
thank you.
It makes sense hearing your story of just like you just love dancing. You were dancing in the clubs. I feel like a lot of dancers who take a lot of dance class. Well, at least I feel like I'm sort of like this. You get to the club and you're like, what do I do? You're used to choreography, you're used to like technique.
Exactly.
But you have this quality because you've just been dancing for fun. You also have technique background too, but you've also danced for fun for all these years.
Yeah, I've danced for fun.
And now you're getting technique again and you're getting class.
Right.
But you still have that just like joy and that performance quality. And it's so obvious.
Thank you.
I think that's why you're booking things. You're booking a lot. Okay, but I don't want to skip around too much. So you took a short break from law and did
I took that short break
for like how long?
That was for about actually that would only been for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Because then I went to Paris for 2 months and then I came back and was an independent contractor.
Okay.
So by then I at least had some salsa and some swing under my belt. And that was right around that time that I also got on to the Zydeco dance scene, because back in the 90s, there was a little club called, the Alligator Lounge on Pico in West LA. And then they used to go at that lodge up on Fair Oaks.
Okay.
We used to go there, and they used to have this big Zydeco festival every June. So we actually had a pretty dynamic community of Zydeco dancers, Cajun and Zydeco.
What is Zydeco? I don't know what that is.
It's music from like Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And so the dance form is sort of like East Coast swing, but not quite.
Okay.
And then Cajun is kind of is off. It's like there's 2 steps and all sorts of different things. So back then, from about I think I did that pretty regularly from about 96 to the early 2000s, and then it started to, slowly, I won't say die out, but kind of be less robust. And because it was an older crowd, unfortunately, we've lost people from the community over the years.
Okay.
It was a wonderful dance community.
Wow.
So it was because of that I actually got a lot more comfortable and frankly better at couple dancing.
Okay.
The art of couple dancing.
Yeah.
So for people, most dancers who don't do couple dancing, they're doing like choreo, maybe they're doing group, but to be in sync with one other person, and as the women, we have to adapt to all the different guys and their styles. One guy Yeah, I mean, he kind of has to adapt to how good the female lead, the female not lead follower. That was something I had to learn, was how to follow and not be in charge, like to give up that control.
So many female dancers have told me that who've done partner dancing, they struggled at first with being the follow. I feel like. Can we just try and
try
see
that?
this? Well, there's different. I know it's getting really dark. We needed to add it. We needed to get a little lighting going on. This is getting late at night. So you had that break. You learned different types of partner dancing.
Right.
Then you went back to hardcore law.
Correct.
For a while. You were probably still dancing.
Yeah.
Around that.
Yeah, I was going out dancing, but I started trying to squeeze dance classes. If I could make it to one class a week, I was lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure with that crazy career.
Yeah.
And then did you retire early, or you retired at like just normal time?
I retired early.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
I couldn't hold. I just could not hold out. There's no way.
You're like, I'm called to something else.
Yes.
So did you know that right when you retired, you were gonna start doing all this dance stuff, or did that just like as far as like all the classes and all of the auditions and things you started doing, did you know you were going to do that, or did that just kind of like that's just what happened?
Well, you just asked two questions, so
Okay.
I'm going to answer the first. I'm going to break them up for you and then answer them. True lawyer fashion. So as far as dance classes go, I definitely, my dream when I was going to retire was to take as many different classes as I physically could do. Mm-hmm. I have definitely experimented over the years, and certainly since I retired during the pandemic.
Okay.
So there were a lot of classes available online now, and I live, we're both in Los Angeles, where, we have a plethora. There's almost too many.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's I have to alternate weeks because I'll want two classes and they're on the same night. And it's like, So okay, so that's that. The answer to that question is yes, that was definitely the plan to do that. As far as submitting for jobs, I had spent many years prior to retiring to trying to figure out what I knew. I wanted to do something with my dancing. I knew that. I know people enjoy my energy when I dance because they tell me that. So it's not like I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
People that they don't necessarily say, "Oh, you've got the best technique," but they generally respond to my energy because to me, it's my way of expressing, joy. It takes over. It's not even like I'm thinking about it. Because when I mainly, especially when I'm doing freestyle, I'm trying to start adapting that to choreography. With it's not quite as successful. But when I'm like in the moment and I'm letting music just move me whichever way it wants to, it's just like it's just the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, do you want to teach? Maybe you should teach. And what do I do with this?" Well, and I'm gonna name my friend Jonay Shady. And the reason I want to name my friend Jonay Shady, whom I've known since we were teenagers, is that she is an actress, and she really wanted me to pursue my dreams. So she would send me occasionally while I was still working casting network. She'd see something she thought I'd be good for, and she'd send it to me. And I'm like, "Jonay, I can't do this. I can't take time off of work to submit for this." And I guess, I don't remember specifically, but I guess there was just this moment where I thought I'll sign up for casting networks and start submitting. So I did. And then I also
After I retired. Okay.
Yeah, I started in like early 2022, and I was such a novice. I hate to admit this, but I got like 2 self-tape requests, and I missed even seeing them until it was too late. And it's like, So finally, I follow one casting director on Instagram, and so I booked this. My first job was on July 4th in 2022, and it was a promo for Imagine Dragons. So we all went down to the beach, and we're just like, and all this. And the day before, I'm like, I almost chickened out. And she's like, no, you have to go. Do you know how many people submit to these
Your
things?
friend.
And want to do this. And I went and basically got addicted to the whole thing.
Wow.
So I started submitting mainly to music videos because I figured that was my best chance. Oh, I should back up. I'm sorry. In early 2022, in the course of, I guess this must have been, it was 2022. I took 3 dance intensives with Galen Hooks. So first was like
Oh, I didn't know you took her that long ago.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was 2022. It would have had to have been, yeah. I took, her classic. Then online I took, and this was all in January. This is all 3 of them, boom, boom, boom. How to retain choreography. And then I took her, she's going to kill me if I can't remember the name of I'm blanking all of a sudden. But it's about the industry. It's to teach about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, there's no place for me. I'm not somebody who can pick up complicated choreo right away. People, I see them picking it up in 15 minutes, all this blah, blah. I'm too old. I don't look mainstream enough. All these, negatives. And I said, I'm a freestyle. I'm more freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh no, you may not get X, but you definitely could get work in such and such and such.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, well, she certainly, if anyone, knows the business,
Yeah.
she does. And so, that's when I had the courage to try to start submitting, thinking, well, maybe I have a shot at this. Typically, the jobs I get are either where they're specifically looking for someone my age, or they're looking for a big variety of people.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten hired both for specifically dancer roles, like the commercial that I was in, the COVID treatment, which is like my biggest accomplishment.
That was pretty cool. And then it was on the Super Bowl.
It was during the Super Bowl in California, but I've also gotten different music videos, some of which I've specifically been hired as a dancer or a background dancer or featured dancer. And sometimes I just kind of sneak in there, like if there's an opportunity to dance, I grab it.
That's cool.
And then sometimes I do jobs that aren't dancing at all, but they're fun to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and then trying to somewhat narrow down the types of classes I'm taking to styles that I both enjoy, but where I can also be more marketable. So that's been
that's what you were telling me about recently.
Yeah,
so, because you've been. Well, first tell me, what are your favorites, marketable or not? What are your favorite styles? Just out of curiosity.
Well, Bollywood, obviously. Bollywood / Bhangra, and whacking, punking.
That is so funny. I was watching some of your videos. I always watch your videos, but recently
thank
because
you.
whenever I have a podcast coming up, I'm like, let me scroll through their Instagram.
Research it.
And you're good at whacking.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's a little surprising that it's one of your favorites, but then it's not really, because I'm like, no, I saw you doing it, and it was pretty good.
It actually shouldn't be surprising because it's it was basically developed in the clubs.
Oh, true.
In the 70s, so it was a club dance. It's actually, sometimes I think people think it was a street style, like popping, etc. Those are street styles. This was basically developed in the clubs in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
By a group of gay men who needed a sanctuary, basically. A place to feel safe and enjoy themselves. And it developed by love of movies and TV shows, and it was inspired, a lot of it, by that.
Yeah.
So the beauty of whacking is that it's definitely very technical in some ways. There's polyrhythms.
It's hard.
It can be. There's polyrhythms. There's all sorts of things. You can do choreo with it, or you can freestyle, but it's also meant to be a form of self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty, and that's what attracts me so much to that particular style, is it's got basically everything.
Yeah.
It can be adapted into other styles as well. And I mean, basically why we dance. There's one word I will use for why everybody dances and why and something that I think a lot of I know it's happened to me. I'm assuming it happens to other dancers. We forget it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're not having fun, go find a job that's going to make you more money because seriously, because it's not easy. You better be enjoying it.
Yeah.
And sometimes with all the classes and am I doing well enough and then I forgot I'm supposed to have fun. I'm supposed to entertain myself.
It's so true. Like, if you don't love it enough,
there's no point.
You might as well do something that pays more.
Right.
It's really true.
Yeah, So I think that is kind of that can be a hazard. I think a lot when we're trying to get technically better.
Losing the fun. So
I like locking too. In answer to your question, I do locking, which I truly enjoy because it's such a joyful, like when you watch people doing locking more than any other dance form than Bollywood, they're always smiling.
Really?
There's always this energy and they're smiling and and it's funk music. Actually, the reason why I got into locking and sort of also a bit into popping, and I'm not gonna say I'm great at popping or anything, but I do enjoy the classes, is that I have these two friends, the Santiago brothers, Ray and Ed, and they actually dance with Chester Whitmore, you probably know Chester Whitmore. He's a tap dancer and a jazz dancer. So these two guys, I met them in a Bollywood class in Inchintas years ago.
Okay.
And they're wonderful dancers. So we would go down to dance downtown for disco and Bollywood, and they go for a lot of the stuff. But I'd go to disco, and they'd be locking, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" I've never, it was a dance form that was around when I grew up, but I don't remember it. And it just looked really, and they're good. So they were good. They were good at locking and pop. What are you guys doing? Oh, when I finally have time, they were taking these classes. When I finally have time, I'm going to go and take classes. And that's actually what I did pre-pandemic at the now defunct Debbie Reynolds studio. Mm-hmm. They were giving the classes there. So I started, back then I was taking, Achinta, I think she taught at almost every dance studio. I've followed her all over the place. So she was teaching Bollywood at that studio, but there also was some a wonderful locking teacher, Keeley, who was my first one, and then Zuse Morales was teaching during the pandemic online. So so that is another form. And then,
well, tell me, can you explain the difference between popping and locking?
Oh, well, they're just different dance styles. I mean, locking was created by Don Campbell sort of by accident, apparently. Like he was a little bit awkward and he started pointing at people and doing these moves, and then people picked it up as this dance form. And then there were the lockers, including Toni Basil. She was the only female locker. And I should also say one of my favorites is 60s Go-Go as well. So, but back to that, popping is is a whole different thing, and it involves and belly dance. I love belly dance too.
Okay.
Hi, Leela, my belly dance teacher. But I don't want to leave you out. But popping, I find it really fascinating and I find belly dance fascinating, and I didn't at first because I'm big movements. That's why I like Bollywood and whacking and other, all these big movements. But then you've got the dance forms that are body control, smaller. And that's why I thought, it's kind of boring. I was going to move your hip. But no, it's like to be able to isolate your body and make these movements. And with popping, if you watch a good popper, it's like awesome.
I just always, I think I looked it up before, but I just mixed those up.
No, they're not. They are. I know. I used to think.
Different?
Oh yeah, they're both street style. Well, they're both street styles.
Yeah.
But the moves are different.
But it isn't like in popping. You like.
Well,
or I don't know which style it is that you kind of like.
It's muscle. It's muscle.
Yeah, you like you kind of like contract the muscle.
Yeah.
But which one is that?
That's popping.
That's popping.
Yes.
So locking does not do that.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think so. I mean, I have heard of stuff like pop lock, and I don't want anyone out there who knows this better than me to be like, she doesn't know her history. No, seriously, because when it comes to, punking / whacking, and the streets, locking, popping, animation, tutting, all that, waving, all these forms, that it's more than any other styles I've ever seen. It's very, very important to those dance communities that you know the history of those styles.
Yeah.
That you know your OGs, that you know where these styles came from.
I remember when I was taking jazz funk with John Paul at C Spot, and he would teach us different.
The best.
He would do whacking and different things.
Well, yes,
he loved to talk about the history of it.
Yeah.
So I have heard it, but it's hard to. There's so many details about everything, and it's hard to remember when you're not in it all the time. But yeah, it is a very interesting history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be the one who's going to be able to rattle off all the OGs. I see the names, and there's all sorts of people out there, from Fresno and Oakland, and there's different forms, and all that. But it was, and then there's stuff like Memphis juking, which is like a whole other. That's hard. That was really harder than I thought it was going to be. There's all sorts.
I love that you've tried all of these things.
I've tried them all. It's just I just have so much time and energy to do it.
Yeah. So. Your favorite, those were your favorites.
I like 5 different.
But I know recently you're like, I want to focus more on what I like, but also what's marketable.
Right.
So what is it that you're kind of focusing on now with that new vision?
Well, in addition to taking my beloved styles, so I'm still taking, Bollywood. That's always going to be on my list. Always, always, always. My belly dance classes, I really enjoy those. 60s go-go, I take on. There's only 2 options for that. One is Miss Magnolia in Atomic Ballroom on the weekends. I think Saturday she teaches, and then there's the Meyer Dancers, which is a British go-go dance troupe, and they teach online. Oh, so those are those classes. Okay. So those are not a regular. I can't take them regularly. Yeah. Just Atomic Ballroom's in Irvine. Okay. And so that's for 60s go-go and locking, punking / whacking. I mean, it's the reason I keep saying punking / whacking is that it started off as punking. Yeah. People know it more as whacking. And I'm not going to get into the H versus the double A's or anything like that.
I Googled that once because I was trying to spell it, and I was like, wait, there's so many different ways.
But it started off as punking. So because these gay men were referred to as punks, and it was an insult, so they decided to take that and own it. So that's why it was referred to as punking, and still is, as far as Victor Manuel refers to it as. Okay, he's the last OG. Alive of the original punkers. Okay. So I still am taking that. Now, what I've added to it after some, experimentation is robot animation, because I really, really like that.
What? I've heard of that. I feel like I've heard of that. I know. No, I was thinking because I've heard of that recently, but can you explain it?
Well, actually, I was surprised about this, but my father's the one who told me that a robot has probably been around for at least 100 years. Yeah. It was way back when. And I'm not sure. I mean, by the time Michael Jackson started doing it, I think there were other dancers before him who were doing this form. And of course there are mimes who do things. So it's basically, animation is just making characters that have a sense of unreality to them. Okay. So cyborgs and things like that. Okay. So with movements, or facial expressions that sort of this thing, but it's very precise, and again, body control. Okay.
Where do you take class for that?
That is given by Yaya Vankova and Slim Boogie. They're a couple. They alternate. He usually teaches popping, but recently Robozilla has been subbing those classes 6 o'clock Wednesdays at Movement Lifestyle. That they just had a big intensive in July, and I had to miss it because I got sick, and I was like, really?
But it's called robot animation?
Well, it's animation.
Or it's just called animation?
It's called animation.
Okay.
A robot is a subset of that. I think people are more familiar. Like if I say animation, sure, the community knows what that is, that specific community, and everyone else is like, well, what is that? So if I say robot, people know what I'm talking about.
Have you posted videos of that class before? I want to watch it.
I have not posted videos of us doing it. A lot of it is freestyling.
Okay.
Occasionally, they generally don't do routines, but sometimes we do.
Okay.
But
so that's really up your alley.
There is a lot of stuff, like a lot of dancers online, and it's amazing. And I will say that one of the reasons I like it is because I'm the only person, other than OGs, I'm the only person in my age group who does it, I go to these classes and it's like, I'm the only person my age in these classes. So I just think it'll be fun to have,
Yeah, and I think it gives you a unique thing, which also gets you picked for stuff.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, I used to say that, like, I'm going to start... Back when I was pursuing acting a long time ago, I'd be like, maybe I'll pursue acting after I retire, and if I just stay healthy, maybe I'll have less competition.
Right. Oh no, we believe it. We folks we think that. Trust me, we're all like, if there's a dancer role, it's LA, so I think, I'm older, so there'll be less people. Well, there's always some dancer my age. They don't stop I didn't stop. They didn't stop.
Yeah. I'm sure there are, but
it's not as many. No, there's not.
And you also have a very unique look and style.
Helps.
So I think
or not.
Yeah, it's either way.
It's it's either they're
either
love
looking
it
for that or they're not looking for that. But...
It's like she's not mainstream enough, So I'm adding on hip hop, which this has been a journey trying to figure out, like a dance class.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what class have you found a class you like?
Not
hip-hop?
I haven't settled into one yet.
Okay.
I'm still experimenting.
Okay.
I had a class I liked, and he stopped teaching it, which bummed me out. It was a great dancer, great teacher.
Who is that?
His name is Kai. I met him at Galen Hook's Freestyle Roulette.
Oh, okay.
Awesome guy, an awesome dancer. But yeah, I go on to the different, websites or Instagram, the apps, to look at the different dance studios schedules and see if I can find classes that aren't overlapping. Or sometimes what I'll do is, this teacher's teaching at a time that I can go. Let me get onto his or her Instagram and see if I even like the style.
Yeah.
Or if it's too advanced for me, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I'm still in the process of that. So there's that. Then, and you're gonna be happy to hear this, jazz, which I'm still looking for a class I can get to consistently for that, because I really like that dance style. Especially, Fosse-esque.
Okay.
But I have taken more like Broadway sort of theater jazz classes.
Yeah.
That's what I've managed to
That's
get
really
to.
fun, though. I feel like you're good at that. I
enjoy it.
I feel like the dance style I saw you do was kind of like that.
It was. Yeah, that certainly was, for sure. So that I'm looking into, and then finally, this style is sort of a specialty style. Having said that, I have submitted for music videos in this style a couple of times, and feel like I would have had a better chance if I had known it a little more, and that's K-pop.
Oh, yeah.
You get in, and that's a very popular style these days.
I recently just started trying the K-pop here.
And Athletic Rush.
And I mean, it's nothing... It's like a shorter combo. It's nothing crazy.
Oh.
But,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, not the ones I've taken.
Just like... I guess they switch off teachers a bunch. So, for the K-pop that's on... Oh, it's on tonight. Actually, I went to Bollywood instead of K-pop with you. But there's
that's
a K-pop
right. Yeah,
at the same... That's probably why you don't go, because you have Bollywood.
Well, it's
also far away.
It's far. I mean, I can get to K-pop closer. So, like, as far as K-pop...
Yeah, you can take it somewhere else.
Yeah, I can take it, like, Epicenter's got one. they've got a couple of them for people like are close to K-Town, Roots.
Roots.
Definitely, those were the first ones. There's also for anybody in West LA, I'd forgotten about this. So the teacher Ria, who I've taken at Roots, really liked, but Roots is a little far for me. There's a new dance studio, and I wish I could remember the name of it, so forgive me, folks, but it's somewhere in West LA, recently opened, and Ria, I think Monday nights, is teaching. She is. She's teaching Monday earlier before she teaches at Roots.
Oh, okay.
I think she teaches at Roots kind of late, like it might even be 9 o'clock.
Okay.
But earlier in the evening, she's at this studio teaching.
Okay.
So I was very excited because that's closer,
Yeah.
and I can get to that one. So
I know. I didn't used to think I liked
it's so
or was
much
really
fun.
drawn to K-pop.
Right.
But recently I'm like, maybe I should try to get
know.
into this more. It's kind of fun.
It
it's
is fun.
It's pretty challenging, just the type of moves.
Oh, sure.
And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The cleanliness.
The cleanliness of it.
But I
Interesting. You
want
should bring that up.
Because I interviewed someone else and they were talking about how K-pop is kind of known for it's how clean it is, like
Precision of
sharp.
it. Yes.
And I'm like, ooh, I want that.
Well, now I'm going to, since you said I could drive a little bit in the interview.
Sure.
I have to, since you brought that up, I really want to follow up on
Okay.
that. Okay. I watch a lot.
Oh, yeah. K-dramas.
Did I already tell you this?
Our first time we talked, you
Yeah,
were telling me how
God.
much you love K-dramas, and I was like, my roommate loves K-dramas too.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something. So, for years, as I started taking Bollywood, it's my longest running dance style. I started taking Bollywood in 2006, and probably a little bit before that, started watching the movies, starting with Lagan, with Amir Khan, and every within the first 5 minutes, most of them, there's dancing, there's music,
Okay.
and they're known for that. Then you've got the K-pop videos,
Okay.
okay, and the idols and all that. What I find truly fascinating about those two groups of dancers is how different they are, and I think with a reflection on those cultures. So without I'm not an expert in Indian or Korean culture, but I think of some familiarity. So when you see Bollywood dancers, and it's very fast and complex and everything, and sometimes there's like I said, the classical movements, but there's a lot of facial expression, like Achinta, she's all about, and you heard it with Yogen tonight as well. If you're dancing Bollywood and your face is completely flat, you're not doing it right. It's just joy and everybody's having a good time, and maybe not everybody's 100% in sync with each other, but they don't have to be. They're still doing the moves. They still know what they're doing, but there's just, oops, sorry. She told me not to do it, so I'm going to switch. So there's all this stuff, and there's just the, if you know classical Indian, there's just, it could be like the eyes or something that is very much part of the culture to have these expressions. Then you get K-pop. And I love the technical precision of it, but there's no expression. It's very different.
Oh.
It's very clean, like you said. It's very clean. They are very clean doing it. They're all in sync. As a culture that's very community oriented, everybody's in sync, but their faces are like this.
I never noticed that. That's interesting.
Check it out next time. Check it out. They might be singing. And frankly, if they're singing and dancing at the same time, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is impressive. So when you said it's very clean, I have to agree with you. I just wish they showed more joy doing it.
Well,
if you
maybe
watched
we
Indian
can do
stuff
it
with
and bring the joy, because
bring the joy.
Why not?
It certainly will be, a different. No, but frankly, that choreography is. It is very challenging. They bring in. I've seen choreos where, you know, they've got hip hop moves, they've got whacking moves, they've got tutting in them, you know, like fast tuts.
Yeah.
They're not easy to do.
Yeah.
And so and the music is very upbeat.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's what I like about that
The only
too.
thing I frankly, that I'm not as fond of with K-pop classes is because they're so popular and there aren't as many of them, they get a little too crowded sometimes.
Yeah. The one here is not.
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, it's not that it's not. It's just, it's medium. It's not like,
Oh, no, I've been somewhere.
I'm sure. Yeah. Probably at Roots and probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wall to wall people.
Wow.
Sort of thing where it's more that I'm always concerned that I'm going to step on somebody, they're going to step on me, I'm going to trip because they're right on top of me, or, you know, something like that.
That's the hard part about classes you really like, or teachers that are really good.
Yeah, everybody
sometimes
wants
there's
them.
too many people in the
There's
class.
too
You're
many.
like, I would like this class, but I just can't. Sometimes I'm like, I just can't deal with the crowd. I have to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
But
agree. Or I
you just
can't
want
see the
space.
teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, we're not the tallest people in the world. So you have to kind of be in the front to even see what's going on, or else it's like, forget it. I don't want to be watching another student, even if they're good. I want to see what the teacher, and I want to see like what the hands and the arms are doing. And you can't see that.
Right.
You know, if it's
especially
really
because,
crowded.
like, in real life, I kind of wear glasses.
Oh, you do?
So
you
I
kind
don't.
of wear glasses?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I mean, my eyes are like pretty good, but no, like if I'm far back, I can't really see the details very good.
No,
Like
that's not
even
good.
if no one's blocking me, because I do sort of wear glasses. I say sort of because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I wear glasses at work. I wear glasses when I'm driving. My sunglasses are prescription, but then I just don't like wearing glasses, so I just
When
don't.
you're dancing,
like I can
it's
see
like-
you without my glasses.
Right. But yeah, you
But
want
details,
fogging
and when
it
you're
up
far
when
away,
you're dancing. It's,
yeah. And I'm kind of scared of contacts, so I have never. I don't want to touch my eye.
Oh.
And
you need LASIK.
I'm scared of that too.
Oh.
I just wear glasses, but I just don't wear them when I don't want to wear them.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm still okay.
So okay, yeah,
well,
you're
my
still
eyes are still okay.
treading
enough for
that line.
But so okay, I love that you are just exploring all the classes, figuring out what you want to do, and what's gonna market you, and all these things. Do you have a specific, like, dream at this point in your life with dance? Like, this is the thing I would really like to do or get one day? Or is it more just like, I just want more of what I'm already doing? I just want to get more of this, more music videos, more things like that, commercials or...
Yes and yes. So I would like to get more dance work in commercials and music videos and potentially a TV show or a movie someday. One of my sort of personal goals as someone who has basically been doing interpretive freestyle, I'm going to say interpretive freestyle versus style freestyle.
Okay.
So like interpretive freestyle is basically doing freestyle and, you know, interpreting the music the way I want to. And then freestyle, I call style freestyle, is where you're doing locking or, you know, or
like a
punking,
particular style.
A particular style, but you're freestyling. You're not
Right.
doing choreography. Okay. Because sometimes I've gotten into trouble where it's like, oh, freestyle, you know, Galen Hook's freestyle roulette. And then it's like, oh, well, freestyle not meaning interpretive, but that, oh, that person does crump or that person does that
Oh my gosh,
style.
that would intimidate me.
You know,
Like,
it was interesting. It was quite a glorious experience, actually, just to be in that room with those so many people who were such wonderful dancers. You know, b-boys. This was like everybody was there. It was just incredible. But I want to get better at choreography. I want
Picking
to
up choreography?
not just only picking it up, which I've been working. No, that would be a whole different skill set. But getting to the point where I am dancing it,
okay.
where I'm not thinking it.
Right.
Okay, where I'm actually feeling the choreography and understanding it and doing it more precisely.
Yeah. Like, because when you're freestyling, you're feeling it.
Correct.
And then when you're doing choreography, you're thinking about it. Because I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
It's like, that's one of my goals too.
Yeah. So that's more like something I've been really trying to work on. That's why I took Galen's How to Retain
Yeah.
Choreography, which was very useful.
What can you took that, when was that?
Back in January of 2022.
Oh, I thought you took it recently for some reason. Okay.
I think I took it back then as well.
Was there any like tips that you remember from that about how are you
supposed to?
Oh, okay, sorry. Just kidding.
Of the trade secret.
Well, I didn't know if you learned something about picking up choreography.
There is
but
one thing that I have used that I can probably say without giving away her game plan. Oh, it came back to me finally. Game plan. That's the intensive about the industry.
Oh, okay.
I say without giving up her game plan. Well, what I try to do sometimes is figure out, either when I'm in class executing something, or if I'm thinking about or like say I'm trying to learn something for performance, run it in my head, and then when I get to the part where it's like, I don't remember what's coming next. Oh, okay, well that's my pain point right there, is like that transition or whatever. I don't remember that. Then I try to think of a prompt or some sort of little story.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to learn a choreography right now off of a movie video.
Okay.
A Bollywood one. And so, okay, well this part they're pushing, and then the next little part they're pulling. Just like a quick, so that I'm not what comes next? Oops, all right, I just missed my cue. And then of course, then there's the whole thing about being on the beat with it, which sometimes I learn the choreo, but then oops, I went too, I got too excited and I went too fast.
Yeah,
and then I'm all ahead of the rest of everybody or whatever. So it's a real skill. I want to get to the point where I have more fun with it.
Yeah.
Rather than it feeling like it's like work. Like the minute I start doing that, I'm not even as good at it.
Yeah.
If I go into a class, it's like, hey, I'm just going to have a good time, no pressure. I tend to do better.
Yeah.
And then obviously, as with anything for any of us, the better I know the style and the universe of moves within that style, the faster I can pick it up as well.
Yeah. That's why I like going to a class regularly.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I've learned this move before. But yeah, I know what you mean, because sometimes I feel like I'm really getting the choreo, and then I'll watch like one of the select groups that's picked or something, and I'm like, oh, they're picked because they're feeling the choreo. Like, yes, I got it, but
Right.
I see like a bigger goal,
Right.
Not that makes me feel bad or anything. I'm still glad that I got it, because to me that's still like
That's
a
an
milestone
accomplishment, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but it's good to realize, like, I don't know, I think that's what keeps me going in dance, is just that there's always something else. It's like it's like a kind of a joy. Like, it's disheartening, but then it's also joyful to be like,
wow,
ooh,
that's
I can
a good way to put it.
like,
It is both.
another thing to try to get. Like,
Yes.
I don't think there's any dancer. I don't know if I've ever met a dancer who's like, yeah, there's nothing that I'm trying to get better at or grow at or do.
Yeah, that's just
There's always going to be
impossible.
something that, but that's what keeps it fun.
For sure.
Because there's always something to grow at and keep going.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a skill to not only get the choreo, but also really feel it, have the joy. And so sometimes I think it's nice to go to like a more beginner class.
Yeah, I've done that.
Once in a while, just to be like,
feel
oh, I
good
still
about
got
yourself.
it. I can still
I could pick
dance.
that up real fast, yeah.
When all my classes are like intermediate or
Oh, yeah,
something,
for sure.
I'm like, it is, it's like I really want to feel it. I can I'm like on the verge of feeling it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm still thinking like so
Yeah.
hard about this.
Yes.
But I think, definitely, I think that's a very achievable goal for you. I mean,
I
you're taking
hope
so
so.
many classes,
It's
and
hard.
you did so good tonight.
Thank you.
I was like, we both were like,
Yeah, we were
we were getting it.
We were getting
I
it.
don't know. It was a struggle. I was struggling, but
Well, I was
like,
struggling because I was tired. It's like,
I
this
was
is the
tired,
night
too.
that we're jumping. Yay. It's hot. I'm tired. And then I saw the video. I'm like, and Galen is something that I don't think is going to, like, she's going to be pissed if I bring this up because she's known for it, is to look at yourself with kind eyes. I love that. I mean, it's funny. I always laugh as people, oh, you took an intensive with Galen? Oh, she scares me or she intimidates me. And it's like, no, this woman is one of the nicest, kindest, supportive people. Yeah, if you're doing something, yeah, she's going to, like, pick it out and to help you.
Yeah.
But she's there to help you.
Yeah.
So what she likes to tell us to do is to look at yourself with kind eyes, so that when you go back and you look at your video, instead of, which, of course I do, and I'm sure others do, and you look and you see, oh, that's where I made the mistake.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, wow, I did great. Yeah, okay, well, maybe that could be improved, but I also did this right, and I did this right, and my face was on point.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's really good. I love that.
Yeah.
Because, I have days where I notice all the good things that I'm doing, and I have days where I'm just like, oh, why am I even doing this? Look at me. I can't do anything. You just get
not alone.
Down on yourself, but that's a really good encouragement to try to do that. So you were saying, so you're saying you want to book more things, maybe TV, film would be awesome, but you're also just really trying to achieve this goal of just like really dancing the choreography and just feeling it and having more fun.
Having more fun with it. And, and sometimes it can be like I want to get more dance work, professional work, whatever it is. But, like we did I recently learned a choreo for a music video, and I learned it pretty quickly. And then there were other things we had to do with it. So it was like a base. Okay. And I did it. And it's like, oh, good, I can do this. Like, I don't really, my goal is not to be that person who learns like, who goes out and quickly learns like the 5-minute choreo and is a backup. I'm not going to be a backup dancer for like Chris Brown or something like that. I know, in this town, there's plenty of people who do that. Yeah. You look at their Instagram and they've danced with all the, they put all the famous people they've danced for. That's, obviously that's not my goal. But to be able to be better at choreo so that if I'm booking jobs, I'm not going to like see the word choreo and go, yeah. Then I can do that.
You don't want that to be a roadblock.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I couldn't put it better.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Love that goal.
Discouraging or whatever.
I'm just like, you're so inspiring to me because I said it a few years ago when we met and I still think it now. You're like living my dream. I'm just like, I love just the exploration, the explorative attitude that you have. Like, let's try this. Let's find this here. Like, I have that as well, but just like, because you are older than me.
I'm older.
It's inspiring because I'm like, good. I have the rest of my life to do this. Like your life to me, like your life is just, you've danced your whole life, and that's encouraging also because I didn't know that as far as just like having fun with it. Yeah, no,
I'm not the person who has been a professional dancer. Right. Did something else and now is coming back, like Kim Hale is, doing. Right. And any dancers out there, I'm sure you all know who Kim is. So, and if you don't, you should. But, so I'm not like that. I'm also not the person who's never danced and then at age, umpty-ump 60 or whatever has decided they're going to take their first jazz or ballet and makes a career that way. I mean, there have been people who've done that. I'm like this weird sort of
in the middle.
I'm in between.
But I think it's cool. I think it's perfect for your personality. You had so many years of like the joy of it, and the fact that you went through law school, did all of that. Like that's dedication. And now I feel like you're just taking that same dedication and you're just putting into dance.
Wow, I think you're right.
It's cool. Like it kind of shows that.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, because I just think the way people are, it's gonna show in everything they do. Wow. Like I think about that because it's like
I've never thought
I can't just
that.
Like not put my full self even into my day job. Maybe that's not like my number one passion, but like what kind of person do I want to be? Because I find myself,
that's
maybe
nice.
I wish I didn't have this day job, and then I go to dance and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm here at dance. It's like, wait,
no,
we need to put everything into everything. Correct. Just be present. Like whether you have this job for the next 20 years or just the next 2 weeks, like you're here, so do your best at it. Now you're in this dance class. Like even if you take a dance class and you're like, the first 10 minutes you're like, I don't like this teacher. I don't like their style or something like that.
Right.
Or I don't like the way they teach. It's still like, I want to train myself to be like, but you're here right now. Right. You're present.
Right.
And you're not, unless you leave, which I've never really done that before. But like, if you're going to stay for the class, then put your whole self, get get into it as much as you can. You don't have to come back, whatever.
Right.
But like wherever you're at, whatever's in front of you, like do to the best of your ability. And
That's a wonderful
I feel that when you tell
philosophy.
your story, like it seems like you did that with your multiple careers that you've done now.
I have to tell you a couple that makes me think of a couple of things. One of which is that I will admit, and I remember this started happening with online whacking classes I took. I had this teacher, Kristen Santiago, wonderful teacher, wonderful dancer, and I was not very good at choreography then, and I didn't know whacking as well either, and she would do these fast choreographies, and I got very discouraged that I wasn't keeping up.
Yeah.
To the point, this is the first time this happened, to the point where I was getting ready to give up and just like, you know what, I can't do this. And I pushed through it. And eventually I got to a point where I was able to keep up with her choreos. Okay?
That's awesome.
And I thought, okay, there's a lesson to be had. And then I remember Zuse would teach something like, she'd be doing like, drills and then more, more detailed drills. And then the routine would come and my heart would sink. And I remember once just giving up and lying down on my carpet at home like, I don't want to do this, and all that. And now it's like when those come up, it's like, oh, no, I can do this, or I can at least give it my best shot. I mean, hers can they can go on for a while, and at MDC, they can go on for a while. And finally, I've gotten to the point where, no, I'm going to embrace this and try. But then there was tonight, like in Bollywood, where I think it was first of all it was hot, and I was really tired for some reason. It was like, I don't have my usual, and of course that was where we had the most jumping, and everything. And I thought, like what you're saying. Well, I can either kind of go, you know what, it's just like I'm not even going to try too hard because I can't, I'm tired, or I'm going to push through anyway, because think of all the dancers we know. I'm sure there are days where somebody on a job is tired and you can't just go, oh, well, I'm just going to half-ass it because, I'm tired. No. So might as well train now in class to go, hey, you know what, I'm tired. I'm still like, when he says 50, I'll do 50. When he says 100, I'll do the best I can physically. And there is something to be said, as you were saying, as far as getting older, about keeping in good shape, so that you can, do this for the rest of our lives. I have a friend, Annie, who was the first African American Playboy cover model.
Oh.
She's 80 years old.
Okay.
Now. She was on Sanford and Son. She was on episodes. She was in some of the movies back then. And she is a role model. There's two role models that I personally have right now. She's one of them. She is at least 5, maybe 6-time Guinness Book of World Record jump roper.
Oh, that's
She has people coming to her house, trainers. She is keeping up. Then there's on Instagram. Yeah, she's amazing. And she's on Instagram every day, like getting people to, get
and
up
she's
and move.
80?
She's 80.
And she's still jump roping?
She's not only, she's out jump roping people half her age.
Wow.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Wait, what's her name?
Her name is, let me see what her Instagram handle, I think, is Annie Judas, I think, is what she goes
I'm definitely
by.
jump roping is so cool to me.
I
would like to. A long time ago, I used to dabble in a little bit of jump roping, but I haven't thought about that in forever. But
Neither had I,
cool.
but it's fun. So I went to her. She had a Super Bowl party. Some of us were in the back, we weren't as into the football, but we were in the back, and she had this game where, we had these jump ropes, and she had like a pad, so we weren't jumping on concrete. And for every single rep you did, she'd give you $1. And so I think I made it to almost 70.
Wow.
And I hadn't jumped rope in a while, and I'm like, gee, I'm going to...
That's a fun game.
Yeah, but I'm doing it in my backyard. And then she had a hula hoop, a weighted hula hoop.
Oh, I like hula hoops too.
And I'm like, I haven't done this since I was a kid. That's probably just going to drop to the ground. And I started doing it, and I was shocked.
It's so fun.
So I got myself a hula hoop. And
really?
I've been like I've been like, even a few weeks ago, I had my first case of COVID, and I was in my backyard hula hooping because I was like, I need some exercise. And
Ooh,
I was like,
that sounds fun. You're making me want to get one.
Oh,
I love hula
get
hooping.
A weighted hula hoop is better. So, I get it started now. I can only go, I'm right-handed, so I can only go to the right. But I've managed to walk with this thing without dropping it.
Nice.
Now, what's tricky is to do it and then do like arm movements. So I'm not there. But it's great exercise. Just go back there and just, it's kind of meditative. You're just
It's just like working like your hips.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. What are you working? I mean,
probably you're working
core too.
Your core muscles as well.
Oh my gosh, I love hula hooping.
Yeah,
I can do it pretty long, but I can't. I don't have any tricks. But
no,
I
don't have tricks.
I can just do the regular thing for pretty long.
Right, me too.
But even walking, that's hard. Though.
Yeah, I tried to. So I usually am on an angle and then I'll move forward, and then it's like, let me see if I can take a little step. So my husband was pulling on the driveway, and I walked all the way to the gate with this thing. It's like, how the hell am I going to do this and unlock the gate? And
I love that you tried.
I tried. It's like, I was just going to try. I wanted to open it so he could see me doing it. And it's like, all right, but but you also have to follow Dancing Nana.
Okay.
There's this lady. I love this woman. She's 101. There is a video of her 100th birthday.
Oh, I think I probably saw it.
And she's tap dancing.
Oh my gosh.
And then she's line dancing at 101 with that groove that puts other people to shame. So, but the thing is, look, it's like, and I thought this when David Bowie was still making music videos 2 days before he died, before he left us. I thought, what else was he going to do? This was what he did. He made music.
Yeah.
Why would he stop?
Yeah.
Why, when people like they see Mick Jagger, why would he stop?
Yeah.
This is what he does.
Yeah.
And this is what we do. We dance. Why would we stop?
Yeah.
There's no reason, the only reason would be if you don't take care of yourself. Or as a physical therapist I once had told me years ago, when someone asked him, how do you stay in shape? He goes, I never got out. So, granted, life gets in the ways. People have children or full-time jobs. It's hard sometimes to exercise, but even a little bit goes a long way. Even if you just do, squats and a plank.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's still better than, or take a 15-minute walk or something at your lunch break. Yeah. It's still better than, or take the stairs.
Back before I got into dance and I was just trying to work out every day, but it was hard for me to do it.
Right.
I just told myself, do something for 5 minutes.
Right.
Because for some reason, just like getting in the habit of it.
Exactly.
Like it's like, oh, it's time for bed. I ran out of time. I never did my exercise.
Exactly.
I didn't take the 30 minutes. It's like, okay, well, do something for 2 minutes.
Yes.
Do a plank just so you can get in your head that I'm going to do this every day or most days or whatever. So like, even if someone doesn't have time but they love dancing, maybe they can do one class a month, or they start with, and then they just do little exercises here and there, or like you said, like park further away or take the stairs or just like little things. So I do think it goes a long way, and sometimes we just have this like all or nothing mindset.
I think that's what
if I'm
happens.
not gonna, I mean, I can get like that. I'm like, if I'm not gonna dance
if I'm not going to do all
20
this
times a week, then I'm just not going to do it.
Or
all. Like, why would I do it? It's like, well, we do find ourselves in different seasons. Maybe we didn't have a day job and we could take all the dance in the world. Right. Maybe we do now. Maybe we don't have as much money. Maybe whatever.
Well, there's that too.
But there's so many different options. I think if you really want to do it, I mean,
there's YouTube.
Worst case scenario, you can make up your own stuff, Right. But there's YouTube. There's different online programs that aren't too expensive. Like, there's free classes here and there. I'm always seeing like different posts and stuff. So there's always things you can do. I think you're such an inspiration, Barney. I love your story. I love just like your mindset and your attitude.
Thank you.
And it's just like, it's like an attitude of perseverance and joy. And I think it comes through in your dancing, which is really cool. You. And I had so much fun taking class with you tonight.
I know.
And I can't wait to watch the video. I'm like, we kind of glanced at the video, but I haven't like fully watched it. So now I want to.
With kind eyes.
Watch it with kind eyes.
I watched some of them. I'm like, well, that was a little better, but I was like, I didn't see the front the beginning, so we'll see.
Yeah, watching it kind of quickly, far away, like
Yeah,
it
I
looked
was like,
okay, but now I
looked
haven't really
alright.
looked at it close up. But that we're gonna watch with kind eyes.
With
It's
kind
gonna be
eyes.
good. And I think you have a far way to drive tonight,
do.
so we need to wind it down. But Barney, thank you so much for
This was fun.
being on my podcast.
Oh, this is fun. I love this
love
series. I
having
like
you.
watching the other people and seeing what they have to say, and it's good. I think for us, for us dancers, to hear each other's stories and know that some of our experiences are not just our experiences, like what you were sharing earlier. That when you're going in and I'm like watching all these people, they're really good, and I'm not, or that feeling, and that no, it's not just me feeling that. There's other people,
lots of people
out there going through similar stuff.
Yeah,
and we just don't talk to each other about it.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful.
Well, that's the goal.
I think this
Try
is
to get to know people a little better.
Yeah.
Okay, Barney, I'm going to say thank you again, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank
like
you
and
for
follow
anyone
and
who's watched
subscribe.
this.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.